Hi guys, sorry, give us a second while we struggle with a
Welcome.
overlay. I just had to find it. And here
Welcome.
we are. All right.
Sorry,
Well,
I messed that up.
welcome to here, let me just try to fix things a little. But guys, welcome to Live with Jill and Frank. And hey, this time around today, we are actually live with the lovely Jill for Valentine's Day, no less. She graces us for Valentine's Day. She's back with us. So,
Welcome.
yeah, welcome, Jill. Um, so hey,
Hey,
you lead us. You take us into it because you're we've all
all
been
right.
waiting for you to return.
I'm gonna lead us off today with the wheel. As soon as I figure out
Perfect.
how.
Well, if you guys might have seen a couple of episodes ago, Jill sort of like popped through, even though she was in training, and she provided us with help through finding topics using a little wheel there. And
Can y'all see it?
no, not yet. Wait up. Well, we can show it. Wait, give me a sec.
Technical issues.
Oh, you're okay. Well, there we've lost it. But anyway, so we have this wheel. Pro- sometimes, maybe, and that wheel is there. Um, the only thing we have to turn off is sound.
Are we ready?
So there we are. So now we're gonna spin the wheel and we're gonna get a topic, you guys. And so we went right into it.
Oh,
Um, and we get what are the elements? Oh wow.
there we go.
Okay.
That's on you.
When I named that one, I did not expect this to be the first one to come up because
That was
that is not a very simple topic.
that is a Frank topic.
It is, yeah, I guess it is in a way. Well, okay, here we go. So, working with the elements, the way it works, the way in magic, anyways, like that's one of the, the thing I would say there. If you're doing okay, so if you're coming to learn to the for the elements, when we do as a magician, when we try to learn about the elements, what we're going to do first, let's say we learn about the earth, we're going to first try to focus on all the um that's distracting me, Jill. It's like totally distracting me. I can't, because like my screen is changing every 3 seconds and I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand. um so okay, anyways, uh I got lost.
Elements.
Okay, so yes, let me regroup.
The
Okay,
Kabbalah.
so here's the deal. When you want to work with the elements, first you're going to try to bring yourself, number one, each element has its own set of particularities, right? Like the way it feels, the way it because there's properties when we talk. Okay, number one, because it's something that people use to discredit, like talking about even the four elements, because they go, dude, that's ridiculous. We have a table of elements, we know that there's a whole bunch of them. And it's like, no, okay, but we're not talking about the same thing. Number one, let's just go, one system does not discredit the other because they don't even talk about the same friggin' thing to begin with. One is talking about the building blocks of things, and the other one is talking about spiritual building blocks, if you will, but experiences, human experiences is what it is. And physical properties, but only in so much as they apply to us. Uh, like example, Earth will be cold and humid when you sit on Earth, right? That's the feeling you get. Now you'll get, and it's always right. The combination is always either cold and humid, cold and dry, hot and humid, hot and dry. That those are the four combinations that are represented by the elements: fire, water. Now they represent more than that. They represent ideas. They represent it's like if you took the building blocks of life and you split them into four very distinct categories. It's a way of looking at life because, example, sometimes we talk about my daughter and we'll even use the terminology, she's very fiery, right? She has the fire element because she does. She literally, she's like, she's a little ball of fire and she could either burn down half the planet or she could be, super useful. But it can go both ways, right? That's the element of fire, and it needs to be tamed in a certain way. The element of earth will have the absolute opposite. Now, this ties into astrology, right? Because those four elements, they're found in astrology, they're found in the tarot, they're found everywhere. Uh, and we use them all the time, and they're so if you take astrology, if you take the earth signs, right, like those will be the more stable signs, the more I always say people come to me to be grounded, right? Like I barely ever feel the need to ground myself because it just happens fairly quickly, and I go in the forest and I'm just drawn to those things. Somebody who would be an air sign would be very, very quick on communications. They would be, however, on um, their bad side, they could be conniving a little bit. They could be, because we all have our good and bad sides. So if you know about the elements and you know that those are all, and I didn't mention water, so water would be your more emotional, but your inner emotions, your because fire can be your emotions, your passion, your Valentine's Day, right? Like this is fiery emotion. This is like we're talking about our passions here. Where the water emotions are the deeper emotions, what we feel inside as a person, like in our deeper self. And so this is a little bit like it gives you a bit of an overview of what the elements look like. And then how you use that in your life is because you kind of have the you start having the ability to see how each of those characteristics apply in your everyday life, in the way you live, in the way you react to things, in the way you, and as you see each element. And so now when a magician, let's say, would train to do that in the Golden Dawn system, which is the one system I know, they would actually go through each of the elements. So for a certain time, they had rituals that were, like meant to bring down the elements, but also you did exercises to bring yourself in contact with the elements. So let's say you were working with the element of water, you would try to go in a bath as often as possible and meditate on the feeling of water, the feeling of the bath, the idea of water, and just submerge yourself, excuse the pun, but very intended. You would submerge yourself with water. When you were doing earth, you would go to the forest, sit in the forest, like, bare bum if you can, like, in, what I mean, you would make yourself like as grounded as possible. And then when you were exploring air, then you would focus on the wind, you would bring yourself into experiences of air. And going through that experience awakens a lot inside of a person. So just general meditation with the elements, general working with them, even when you're working with crystals, right? You can work with each crystal having particularities of each element, and it'll help you, build recipes, if you will. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I know that's one of my topics, and yeah, and you're just back, so let's find a new topic, one that you'll have more to say on. What do you say?
All right, let's rock and roll.
I'm all for it. And the wheel is on. Or
Here we go.
okay,
Okay.
we
We
do.
do.
Can we like let's just do it again? Because come on, those
No,
are
we
all
got to
in.
talk about this.
Really? You're
This is
gonna okay,
important.
all right, but then I'm gonna be the one talking again.
That's okay.
But you just came back. Everybody
I
missed
know it's a
you.
little different. Let
All right.
I like to hear you explain this.
Okay. Okay. Let me find some images on my computer because this is such a huge topic here. Um, I have my little card. My little card works so well. I like it. I don't know. I think it. Let me try both. Let me get my little card. Okay. Let me see if that'll work. What? Right here. All right. Um, yeah, this is always we always fall short on that one, and that's my fault. It's because I'm so technologically challenged. Where did I save this? Well, it's not that it's organizedly or and then challenged. So, all right. So let's start with when we say what's the tree of life. Like, what are we talking about, right? Because there's going to be you're going to see images of the tree of life, which are in a circle, and there's a tree and whatever. That is not what we're talking. What we're talking about when we say the tree of life here, we're talking about the tree of life of the Kabbalist, which is this tree of life. Now, this tree of life, each of the circle carries each a different meaning and a different energy, and this is what's important in that entire system is that it's a system that is meant to explain
Live video.
everything, the relationships between everything in the universe. That's no small feat. That is not something, and it is a system that comes from the Jews, from the Hebraic tradition. It is very old. Um, and, so it's a study of the Bible in some way. But in the 19th century, magicians started using it, and well, actually they started before that, but the 19th century was very particular for it. And things like the Golden Dawn appeared, and this particular model started being used because the tree of life can have, there we go, that's perfect, the tree of life can have many forms. You'll notice here, well, you may not notice yet, but you'll notice after, where the lines are on the graph with the circles. That is fairly important insofar as you'll see different drawings with different lines between them, and those are all representative of relationships between the spheres. If you look here, this resembles a little more, except for the yellow. It's representative of something, but it's not an actual path. The one that's because at the top you have white, then you have gray, yellow, and purple, and then the four colors. That grayer one in the like that's crossed by a yellow line that doesn't have an outline or symbols in it. Those are actually they don't exist on the tree, but they exist. But it's because they're at a different level, so they're not usually visible. Um, but give me a second. I have some uh, fairly accurate. If I can, if you can talk to them for one moment while I figure out. Oh, where the hell
So
was
when
that?
I think of the tree of life, this is what I see.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, go with that. Tell them. Tell us about, because I think that's important. A lot of people see that, so I want to know more about that. I want to know more about what you see and what you
Well, I
think.
think it's just more of a general term instead of having to go into everything you're going into because you're going way deeper than what I ever went into with it. Just
Mhm.
because it wasn't top of my list to learn.
Well, yeah, but that's okay. That's, I mean, God, there's so many things to learn. I still have so many things to learn. There's just, it's never ending, right? Like now, uh, but it's most people. That's what they view when they view the tree of life, right? They see a tree. Now, also when they talk about the tree of life and like, I mean, because the tree of life is spoken of in the Bible, right? That's the reference that, okay, why can't I really? It was the top one.
Are you looking for something like this, Frank?
This one I find works perfectly. So how do I even bring this in? I'm gonna have to share screen, I guess. Share screen. There we are, people. Whoops, no, that's not even the right thing. Yes, it is. It's just changed. Oh, come on. Okay, tree of life. Seriously, I've got lawyer papers. Let's not share those. All right, perfect. So there's the tree of life, as per my version, the version I know, the version I'll be able to somewhat explain because
So
it
tell us
goes
what this has to
deep.
do with chakras.
Nothing. It's a different system, but here's what. Okay, here's
It's
what it
different
has
but
to do with
similar, right?
chakras. It has to do with chakras insofar as they're both systems meant to use the energies that are contained within us, that we actually have access to. They explain. Now this one though, it goes a lot further because the tree of life is also it's much more. It's a it's a map of the process of creation. Now the weird part about it, and this I cannot I can explain it to someone, but most people are just going to be like, "Uh-huh. Yeah, whatever that even
You
means."
got to be in a certain spot in your development to be able to grasp it.
Hmm, it's because what the tree of life is. Imagine for a second that you're taking this symbol, and as you're learning what each of the circles means, right? Like each of the circle has its own meaning and its own energy attached to it, right? This, like, let's take an example: the red and the blue. Those are two. Okay. Um, let's go down the tree fairly quickly and see how it leads us here. Uh, the whatever limitless thing or not thing that exists, that is God, but we cannot name. Like through this tradition, anyways, it cannot be named. Um, we then get the first manifestation, which is that sphere. That sphere is the first light we get of God, if you will. Then that energy, think of a dot, if you will, that energy becomes a line. It now has movement. So something active happens. It starts moving. And this is the male energy that is in Hakma. I probably say that wrong. But then I've probably been saying it wrong for years if I do. So Hakma is the male energy. Now that male energy gets received by the black ball here, which is Bina, which is the mother energy. Now you'll notice, it's not because the
Ponder
tree of life
on
is
the
gendered. It's not about gender here when we're talking about feminine and masculine energy. What we're talking about, and it's very important because this is a huge key to understanding like everything. When we talk about negative and positive energy, people jump to all this weird good and evil crap that the religions have been teaching them and whatever, and there's some value in that, but whoa, not everything goes through that optic. And so when you say negative positive, they kind of see it in the same type of optic. Now negative and positive in respect to the tree of life here means that gives or that receives. Negative being it receives, and positive being it's a force that gives. So we're going from a positive force in Hakma, taking it to a negative force in Bina. Now here's the key though. Between them, Bina then gives her energy more shape, and it goes into Chesed, which is the blue circle. And when it does that, it's actually being active. So it's actually being the positive to the negative of the following one of well, I just said it, of Chesed, which is the this is the ruler, the king, the benevolent king. The This is mercy. This is it's actually the meaning is mercy. Uh, and so that's that energy. Now it's because as we now experience, okay, so we now have a line in the gray one, and then the black one, we have a triangle that forms. So we now start having a shape. However, once we enter the next realm, we now start having three dimension. Now it's not exactly like that because really right now we're creating, think of it as our thought pattern, but coming from way deeper than we're used to. It creates starting from the ray of God, and then it goes down. And as it goes down, it solidifies through the different levels. And eventually it becomes matter. But all those other levels, they all exist simultaneously. And so those energies, they can all be called upon and manipulated, and they can all be understood. And they're all energies that are inside us that we can actually understand about us. And this is where the map becomes so cool because it makes you um because you think about it, because what happens is those 10 sephirots, they're called, that we're going through, it's a sephirot if there's one, and sephirots, I don't even think there's I think it's sephirot if it's plural. um but all of them are, once you start, like, they're all, think of them as pigeonholes for everything that exists in the universe. Because through those 10 spheres, you're pretty much able to catalog every experience you have, right? Because you'll have, okay, so the blue one will be the experience of mercy. The red one will be the experience of it's called victory, but it is the warrior instead of being the king that's sitting on his throne and ruling his kingdom in the blue, it becomes the king that is going to war, that is becoming active. Once again, we're becoming a positive force, right? And so then we go into the yellow. Now, the yellow is where things are actually unified. This is where this is where your higher self would be. Your higher self is conscious of what is going on in uh, the blue, the red and the blue, and the relationship between the red and the blue. Uh, it is also what gives energy to the green and the orange, which can also be thought of as sometimes in some way, but it can be confusing. But sometimes you can look at it as your emotion and your thoughts. But it's more than that, because it's your thoughts crystallizing and becoming thoughts. Before there's even the thought in your head, there's actually an energy that gets created. There's something that already exists previous to the thought. And so this shows sort of the creation of the thought and brings you down. And then you have the you have the purple, which is where the etheric is. And this is where the moon is. And this is telling, like, the yellow one is where the sun is, and the purple one is where the because you can place the planets as well on there, except for the white and the gray. The other seven, and then Earth being the brown one, uh, they're all the planets. And so when you get there, this is the sphere of illusion, but it's the sphere of, this is where thoughts take form. And this is where, when we do visualizing, when we do meditations and we visualize, that's where we're actually manipulating things at that level. And that's already like super amazing in one way. Like, this is already like super crazy. Uh but yes, we're manipulating those energies. And then at the bottom is Malkut, and Malkut is actually is Earth. It's, the physical material world that we know. Now,
Now,
all of those things explain what's inside of us as well as what's outside of us. Problem is, it doesn't explain it like a book. It doesn't work like that. You have to work with it, because you have to work in your own mind. You have to start going, oh, this belongs to this sphere. Oh, that belongs to that sphere. Now, because you just put things in there, you're learning to look at those things in the same relationships that the Sephiroths have. And when you do that, for some reason, it opens your brain in a different manner, and it makes it realize your own person in a whole different light. But it also allows you to recognize your connection to the universe. That's Look, that should be, really like a segue to another good topic here. But that's the fact that the world mirrors everything to us. Now, the tree of life allows for that to be sort of cataloged in your life. The way the tree of life works, I think it was Crowley that said, he said, the aim of religion, the methods of science. He was talking about magic when he said that, but I think it applies a little bit to the Kabbalah, in insofar as you're taking a very scientific method. But when you're working with magic and learning about these places, they also have angels attached to them. They also have archangels attached to them. They also have, and so you work with those beings in visualizations and that kind of stuff. So that's when it becomes really strong. Now, I've hijacked a lot of the show right now. I feel we should
that's okay.
maybe put this one. Like, I don't know. I like, If anybody in
Let's
the
head
chat.
back to the wheel.
Oh, hi, Laquanda. I didn't even notice. Laquanda said hi. I hope that wasn't too long ago.
I said hi to her. You
Oh,
didn't
did
hear
you?
me.
I felt bad.
My voice is low.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess it's okay that I'm just so talkative. Why are we getting all these crazy topics, though? That's
We got-
okay. I don't mind, though. But look, we can talk more about the tree of life at some point. Look, maybe I'll do a course on it if people want. Let me know. People, look, guys, comment, please. Oh, see, that's going to be in your wheelhouse a little more. Well, I have versions of it. Um,
Let's
but
hear
yeah,
it.
guys, please comment. Let us know what you want to learn about. Yeah, yeah. Wait up. Let me unshare. Um, let us know what it is that you'd like to learn more. Do you want to learn about this? Do you want to learn about that? Like today, actually, Jill, we never even talked about. We said we were going to talk about because it's Valentine's Day. We had picked a couple of topics, didn't we?
Yeah. We could discuss soulmates and twin flames.
Yeah. Well, if you want to lead us into it, because that's not my. I have.
Well, to me, if we're gonna talk about soulmates, let's start there. Um, a lot of people when they think about a soulmate, they think about like the love of their life, who they're gonna spend their life with. That's not how I consider a soulmate. A soulmate can be a friend. Um, it can be anyone in your life. It can be a family member. It's not necessarily a love interest. What's your take on that?
Well, I yes. Okay. Well, here's the deal. I think a soulmate is a person with which we have a connection at a soul level. There's people in life. I've met people that instantly I had this really deep, weird, intense connection, and there was like
Right.
this thing, right? But it was like, okay,
But it
great,
doesn't
we have that
necessarily
connection.
mean that you're with someone that person is someone you want to romantically be with.
Exactly. It only means that you have a
And I think
connection
that's where
at
people get it
soul
mixed
level.
up.
Yeah, because a connection at soul level does not mean a connection at earth level because yeah, you could be like just the worst things. I met one girl, it's funny, we met each other, we literally both of us felt this insane energy, and we kind of just went like, whoa, we gotta talk, whatever, da 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 da, and then we talked live, and we were like, uh-huh, okay, and both of us left kind of going like, this is not a person for me. But holy crap, but that connection was there, right? And so for a few days it kind of went on a little bit, but it was just kind of like dwindling and going no, and eventually she just ghosted me, and I was like, yeah, I guess really that's exactly it. And I was just like, yeah, we totally connected, but on only that level. We were very like different and very, so yeah. uh it's tricky. It's not all, and people like, look, here's the deal. If you're seeking your soulmate, I that's one that I have a really hard time getting behind, and only because I find sometimes, sorry, it's Valentine's Day, I'm kind
Well,
of grim on this.
let's say if you're seeking your soulmate, my suggestion to you would be not to seek a particular person, but to ask for that soulmate to be sent to you, but not set your mind on a particular person, if that makes
Seek
sense.
to find someone that will be like, seek to find someone that you're both able to want to encourage each other to be the best, like the other person, right? Like if I'm with somebody in a couple, as far as I'm concerned, my job is to make sure that I encourage them to do the things that they want to do as much as I can. Right now, sometimes I may offer advice, I may offer, I may say, hey, would you like to know what I think about it? And they might say yeah, or they might say no, I don't want to. And I might go, great, let me know when I have to go pick you up, and pick up the pieces or whatever. Doesn't matter, right? But I'll still even help them, or like it doesn't matter, right? Because really that's all it is. Like if you help each other in life to attain, because everybody needs help attaining their own goals, not somebody else's version of their goals. So if you're approaching couples like by thinking like, what am I going to change about this person, guess what, you're with the wrong person, and right from the start. If you're willing to say, hey, this person really bugs me about this, but you know what, I can make that work and that's cool, then yeah, you're on the right track because you're now
There's not
looking
going to
at
be somebody
reality.
that doesn't have a problem with
Hmm.
something somebody does. Like the perfect person is impossible.
God, no,
You
they
have
don't
to decide
exist.
what you're going to settle for and even it off.
But the problem is, it's the same people that seek the perfect life as well, right? And they buy people on Instagram or Twitter that are showing them that they have the perfect life. And I mean, I'm sorry, but all those models on Instagram and whatever, it's not Instagram that's making them their money. I won't get into it, but that's not where they make their money. But whatever. I mean, to each their own. But look, so I think there's something to it. Like they exist. Twin flames. Those all those concepts. I think they carry a huge risk. Um, my belief in any when it comes to any belief in life, the way I look at it is, okay, like if there's a way that I can scientifically prove it or disprove it, right? Like it's physical, it's a thing, whatever. Sure, that's dealt with using science. Anything that falls in the realm of beliefs, of, like we have theories, we have all these things, right? Um, then my question becomes, is this belief something that will serve me and that will make me come out at the other side better? And this one, I haven't been sold by anybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody I see that's going like, "Oh, I'm looking for my twin flame," or even you hear people, "I found my twin flame. I mean, he's been beating me for 3 years, but like we're working on it. But he's my twin flame." And it's like, wow, really? Like, dude, no, no. And yeah, come in the chat if you need. I'll challenge it, and please, we'll try to get you out of there and get you some help. But look, like, I know I'm coming off a little strong here, but yeah, I have a hard time with those concepts. They drive me. So why am I doing this on Valentine's Day? You know what, people? Seek
Because
love.
you're single.
Seek love, please. But here's the deal. Like, seek love, though. Do seek love. And
Frank's single and
seek,
looking if anyone's interested.
yeah, seek Frank. I don't know. Oh, seriously. Jill, you just said that on the internet. Good thing we don't have too many followers. Like those are dangerous things to say. So anyways, uh yeah, seriously, where was I with that, eh? Oh, Jill. um mhm. Yes,
Frank is speechless. This is
I
our
am.
first.
I am, because we're selling me on the internet now. I'm not sure how to deal with that. So anyways,
And
but
that was
look,
a free offer.
okay, here's the deal. So yes, fall in love, people, like look for love, but not, don't look for, everybody's look right now, everything is based on ego. Everybody's focused on me, 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 me. If you want to love someone, love is not something that you get. Love is something that you offer. If you find someone that you think is worthy to receive your love, and your love being, I will encourage you to be the best person that you think you can be in the manner that you think you need to. And that's what, for me, it means to say, hey, I'm going to love you. And I do love you. And, I'm a Taurus. We tend to be very, I'm going to be excessively selective in who I let into my life. But once I do, I become excessively dedicated to those people. And so for me, yeah, that's how, that part of the game is kind of lived. And it has its ups and downs, anyways. Let's just say that. Again, I'm single, right? So that should say enough. Um, Although a lot of it is my choice, because you guys, you know what? I'd rather devote my time to you guys and to my kids. That's it. Uh, so
How
yeah,
about we check out
another
one more
topic.
wheel
Yeah, for
spin?
sure. I'm having fun. I'm happy you're back. That's awesome.
Happy to be back.
And I echo if we have the music. So every time we do this, unless we're totally silent while we get this crazy noise. Uh oh, we didn't share the screen.
I
Okay.
didn't.
Loved ones become angels after they die. Wow, that's interesting.
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious to know what our viewers think.
Will they let us know?
Anyone watching want to
Anyone?
give us your thoughts?
You can also tell us about anything else that, you know, is on your mind or that you'd like us to talk about. But, well, I
So
guess.
what do you think, Frank? What's your opinion?
All right, what up? Ask me the question again.
Do our loved ones, you know how when someone passes away, they say, oh, they gained their wings?
Oh no, not in that way. I don't believe in that way.
What do you
No.
think is
Well, actually, I believe
meant
in
by that?
reincarnation. I believe. Okay.
Alexa, put the dining room light on purple.
Yeah, I don't know if angels were ever humans. I don't think they were, but I don't know. Uh, I
I
use
don't think they were either.
like I don't know how to explain this, but in the system I use, like I do see angels and I do create angels and I do invoke angels and I whatever, it's a whole thing. Um, Although at the same time, no, you know what? No, maybe. Well, in a
I
different
don't
way
think
though.
angels were ever human.
Well, it's because we have our higher self. Our higher self is like an angel. It's
No,
very
it would be a good show to
angel
compare
like.
this to. You know that show. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. It's an old one. It's called City of Angels, where the
Oh my
angel
god.
is obsessed with the woman. Did you watch it?
God, a
And
long time ago. That's in the
he, be,
90s or whatever.
yeah, he becomes a fallen angel because he's in love with the woman, but then she dies, and he's stuck here on
He's
Earth thinking
still a
about life.
fallen angel. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
yeah,
that.
like that's the kind of stuff I believe in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a lot of it is the a lot of it is the Bible. Like it's all from the Bible, right? Like it's all the uh yeah. I mean, here's the deal. All right, we were talking earlier about aliens, right? And some people have these systems with aliens, right? Like they go, okay, like there's these types of aliens and those types of aliens, and I communicate with these ones and da da da. Some people use a system like I do, using the Kabbalah, and with the Kabbalah, I invoke and I evoke and I like I visualize angels and I communicate with them, and there's all kinds of stuff going on here. And at the same time, who's to say, like, I believe that we're both actually accessing the exact same energies, because in the end, what we're perceiving here is not a thing in itself. It is not a what we're actually perceiving are energies. We're giving them form, each in our own world and in our own way, and then we have, some in common. So because we have common points, we imagine ourselves as being all part of the same one reality, when in reality, every single one of us, like if you were to draw our lives, if you were able to take the 8 billion people and draw their lives into movements, little lines that intersect each other, you would see how different each of those lines becomes, right? we're all subjected to like so many different experiences. We're all subjected to so many. So, to imagine that we're all living the same reality, kind of like it's limiting. I find it's more useful to, uh, yeah, I find, here, that's what I was trying to say earlier about beliefs, right? For me, are they useful or not useful? And that's what I was just about to say. I believe that belief is more useful to me than not believing in it. Like it serves well. Because you know what? Beliefs are always going to be beliefs.
Well, I had my first experience with angels in 1992, and I don't believe angels have ever walked the earth. Um, this could be a deep subject. So, what happened was, I want to do TikTok at the same time. What happened was in 1993, um, I got pregnant, and the relationship was already abusive. And this was someone I wasn't married, but I ended up marrying this person. He kicked me in the stomach, and I had a miscarriage. And the odd thing was, I had a miscarriage at um, a church that I went into because I was, dealing with the abuse already, and I was trying to ask my questions. And I guess that's when like the spiritual journey kind of started, but I didn't realize it then. Um, so I was at this church, and the preacher that was a somebody that was from somewhere else that was a guest speaker called me out in the audience basically and told me that angels were there for me. And immediately, like during the ceremony, within I'm going to say 5 minutes, I started bleeding and had a miscarriage. So that was my first experience
Wow.
with angels.
Wow. Okay. That's okay. So you say your first one though. Were there subsequent ones?
I've called angels in for help, just like you do,
Okay.
um, when working.
That's interesting though that your first experience though was not working with them, but it was actually just, it's something that happened. Um, that's kind of cool in a way.
Right? And that was 4 angels. There were 4.
Do you remember, do you remember what they looked like colors or any? It would probably not work
No,
in any system, but
because in my mind, what I view them as was like almost like miniature people wearing like white, but they were like at the walls on. I view them at all 4 corners of the walls.
okay. Huh.
Kind of like a helicopter that just sits in place in the air,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're just in place. That's how I view them. But that's my imaginary mind telling me to view them that way. It's actually, um, when you look on the hood of a car and you see the steam coming off in the summertime, it
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
gases. That's actually what it is in 4 corners.
Holy crap. That's pretty cool. That's pretty and it does make sense. It lines up. That's the whole thing too, right? Is it because sometimes that's the whole thing that, and that's, see, we're again a little bit with the tree of life, is that's what that system will also allow you to do, is it allows you to take experiences that you may have had in your life, or even somebody tells you about experiences or whatever, and you're able to place your experiences in, like I couldn't take your experience and place it. I could place it on the tree of life, but it would be fairly arbitrary from me to do. but you can take your own experiences and slowly build your tree of life by putting them, grafting on your tree of life, and it becomes, you know what I mean? It's like you're starting with a model. Think about it like, you know, when you're growing stuff or something, like you're starting with a frame, and then you're planting things on it, I guess, or you're, you know, you've got climbing vines that they're just starting small, and then they just kind of, you know, like develop, right? Well, you're doing a little bit the same thing. It's like you stick the tree of life in the middle of you, and then each bits and pieces that you gather along the way start sticking to the tree of life, and it becomes they say, I had read that and I had not understood what it meant, but they call it a living system. And it is, because eventually, and it takes a while, and there's a fair bit to learn. It's not an easy system to travel. I find, you know, the chakra system is a much simpler one. However, the tree of life, what it does and what it awakens inside you, and how it allows you to know yourself and know your surroundings, the universe, how you interact with the universe. It does it in a way that, well, I don't know. I say I haven't seen any other systems do it, but at the same time, I mean, have I seen all the systems? Of course not. And I've seen systems do some pretty cool stuff. Like, I mean, I've seen, you know, Kundalini awakenings that I was like, whoa, what the heck? So, hey, you know, who am I to say that one is better than the other? I just know what worked for me. But for me, that system was, it still is. It's a, like I say, it's a living system. So every day that I live stuff now, there's a relationship that can be developed with your world, right? Now, I'm gonna come back often on this because it's important. But it's that mirror. Sorry, that was my cap. It's that mirror concept. The fact that when you go through life, look at the things that are annoying you outside of you. Look at the things that are uh, bugging you in people and whatever. And those things are often your own shadows. And you got to be willing to look at those. And you got to be willing to look at your own thoughts and to look at your own emotions and your own, like, everything about you should constantly be reviewed by you, right? And you should always be going like, is this serving me well? Like, is this really gonna give me the best chance of getting where I want to go in life? Right? We come in a lot of, most of us, I'd say, we have like super negative, crazy, bad talk. We don't, some people, we lack self-respect, we lack self-confidence, we lack boundaries, we lack but none of those things are impossible to gain. All Every single one of those things are skills. They can be gained, right? They can be practiced. But here's, the one thing I try to teach my kids, and even I fail because, like, I don't think my daughter's getting it all the time. But I say, you gotta practice. You gotta start by failing and failing miserably, and falling face first and going, hey, you know what? Like, how do I continue doing this, or how do I do it better, or how do I move on to something else? But before moving on to something else, did I try everything I could? People are going through life without a plan. They're going through, they go through the motions. They go to work, they come home, they watch TV, they watch the news, they watch entertainment, they go to sleep, they go to work, they come, and they have nothing to look forward in life. And then they wonder, they go like, yeah, I don't understand why I'm depressed. Like, well, because you're living a depressing life, because you need to be more, like, we're all born with so much inside of us, and we've built a world somehow. And I don't know, was it some weird nefarious forces, was it us, whatever it was, we built a world that's restricting who we are. But I don't think we built it that way. I think what happened is we were in a world that demanded our ego take over the wheel, because we were trying to defend ourselves against beasts. We were trying to basically keep ourselves alive in the most basic forms that one can imagine. Then we started developing civilizations and doing things like that. And we evolved a little bit from there. But I mean, those are still the early days of us becoming conscious of ourselves. However, I will argue that the old pantheons showed a much better understanding of the human mind than modern psychology ever will. Well, I can't say ever will, but does so far. Now, I like the language of modern psychology. I find it works fairly well and it explains things good. But yeah, the old pantheons were okay. Here's the advantage that the old pantheons had over psychology. Psychology will do talk therapy, they will do psychoanalysis, they'll do stuff like that. And all that is using language, it's using the ability of your brain to make things into language and give it form. But what the old people had understood is that our power lies in our subconscious, right? It does not lie in the conscious part of us. It's the stuff that we do automatic, and we got to kind of get over that and become that other part of us. And they knew that the way to talk to that part was through symbols. And so they designed gods, and they now it's what they knew and what they didn't know in the early forms of gods and whatever they didn't know. We what we did is we personified everything that was inside us and outside of us, and we said this is the god of whatever. And yeah, that allowed us to relate to our world. But the thing is, we relate to our world through who we are as a person. And so that relationship has always been there. So we designed the gods and we gave them power. And those powers existed because we gave them to them. And this is what the tree of life, when I said the tree of life shows the process of creation, it shows the process of creation from God, but it also shows the process of creation from humans, because we have the power to create. We're the only creature that has that power, by the way. No other creature can create. All right, back to you. What do you come on, give me your thoughts on some of it. Like cut me off or something.
I think I think that we should spin the wheel again
Really?
and
All
get
right.
one more in.
Okay, but you're first this time to talk about it. You take us into it. But your angel story, that's cool. See, you've got so many of those. You got to share more. You've got a million stories about all kinds of stuff. Guys, for those who don't know, Jill has had a very, yeah, that's a small topic. Very interesting life. Why are we here? All right.
This is fun. I
Okay,
think we
guys.
here. I think we here to meet the aliens.
All right. You ready? I'm going to tell you. This is why we're here. You got that? All right. So now that that's settled, everybody knows. So why are we here? Okay. I actually proposed that topic, and so that's my fault. Um, I believe each and every one of us has a different reason for being here. We all come in with maybe, I don't know if it's a predetermined path, but it's certainly we've chosen the life in which we're born. I think. I don't. Again, it's
I
belief,
agree.
but you know. But when we come in, then we start navigating that life, and we have to just follow it. Okay, I want to know your thoughts first. I want to go like, yeah.
I think we're here to learn something because we want to experience every experience possible, whether it's pain. See, when we're in heaven, I believe that everything's perfect. There's no pain, there's no ailments. Everything's perfect. The weather's perfect. The light is always perfect. Um, Everything is just amazingly perfect. I can't even explain how amazing I think it is.
Hmm.
And I think that being over there and being able to watch over others here, we're like, wow, that's amazing. I want to go try that. Oh, they couldn't handle this happening to them. Well, I'm gonna go try it. So we all want to come here and try everything, and that's why we reincarnate and go through different lives to experience everything there is to be experienced. And the more we experience, the the harder our lives become, because it has to become harder for us to want to keep coming back. And then the harder it becomes, the more our soul evolves and grows. That's what I think.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. As far as it's a few times now, as far as our definition of what heaven might look like, or what, like, I believe in energy concepts, so it becomes weird, but like the description might be different, but what gets us there, like everything you just described, like, is exactly the same. You know what I mean? I absolutely agree 100% with all of it. Um, like, we're here, we're source experiencing itself. We are life happening because life could happen, and it did, and it chose to. And when I say choice, I don't mean choice like the human choice. I mean, it just, it happened, and it's reabsorbing itself, and it's in a constant, it's the infinitely small and the infinitely large all at the same time. That explains it. Like, it's really the infinite. It's in a dance with itself. And so, but humanity, like you say, I think we're in a very special place because of that physicality. It doesn't seem to happen like none of the other realms, right? Like, when let's say, when we use the model of the tree of life, none of the other energies, none of the other beings are able to come to earth,
That's right.
uh, because they don't have
Well,
that
I'm
density.
not I'm not sure that they're not able to come to Earth. I think I think they're more aware than we are.
We can see them if we open ourselves to the astral. If we open ourselves to the astral and we start working with the etheric and whatever, then yes, we can perceive them. I mean, I work with angels all the time. And believe me, like, I do believe that
Yes.
there's a lot of beings, and they have their own personality, if you will. They're their own people. I won't get into, like, here's the deal, people. I could try to tell you till I'm blue in the face, like, believe in that, and it wouldn't change a single thing,
I I
because
don't think it's fair to
whatever.
tell someone what to believe in. I
No, but
think
what I
that
mean,
we all have to have our own experiences,
well,
because
yeah, but that,
even
okay.
if even if it's the same thing, my experience is going to be different than yours, so my belief's going to be different than yours. But both of our beliefs are right.
Well, both of our beliefs are right, but both of our beliefs may not be useful, right? That's all. That's what I keep on saying, is that's where I always bring it back when it comes to beliefs. Is that belief serving my life? If
Right.
I believe that rich people are ripoffs, and I'm trying to become successful, guess what? I probably won't, because I think rich people are
And
ripoffs.
it
So
goes
if I
hand in
be
hand with manifestation.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, right? My beliefs have a strong impact on my life. And so at that point, it becomes a matter of saying, okay, well, wait a minute. Is this belief really serving me? Maybe rich people are not
And
ripoffs.
my beliefs change all the time. You
That's
know,
it.
as I grow, I I change my beliefs. It it doesn't make the way I did believe before wrong. It's just not working for me anymore.
That's exactly it. But that's something people don't do easily. It's people are so attached to their beliefs. They're attached to their beliefs. They're attached to, and I mean, beliefs that are whatever it is, like, I don't know. Okay, here's one that I find like has, I mean, it hurts families, and it's like, that, you shouldn't waste food. I get it. I get where it's from. I get where, I understand the belief, right? But here's the deal: if you're constantly chastising your kids over it, is that belief really serving you or your kids at this point, or is it just kind of something you learned somewhere and now you're just passing it down and you're going like, okay, but is it serving? No, it isn't. It serves a little bit, right? Like, teach some aspect of it, but don't freak out over every little thing, right? Don't. And sometimes you got to let go. And I mean, that's probably a wrong idea, because for sometimes it might be required. uh but like, you're gonna find stuff that, and some things will have served you and then will not
Okay.
anymore. Here's what my main belief was when I was a teenager. You tell me if that, matches the person I am today. I used to have this sentence I would write it on buses and everywhere, and it was, "Society, I have seen what you have done to those who work for you. You won't get me." That was my belief. That was my leading belief in life. Can you imagine that I had a little bit of a different life than I have now? I don't believe that anymore. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was my guiding principle when I was younger. I had it out for everything. I had it out for society big time. I mean, I still do a little bit. I'm still a bit of a rebel, but I've learned that, wait a minute. Tone it down, Frank. Relax. Um, I don't know. What do you think? Are you a rebel?
Yes.
It's okay. There's a few of us. Shh.
Okay. Let's see. How are we running on time? Are we?
Well, I think we did a good podcast.
Yeah, I
I
think
think we
we're
just
ready to wrap up.
well, I mean, we'll leave the good part up to the viewers. They can decide if it was good or not. They can please let us know, guys. Okay, here's what: share, comment, let us know, do all that stuff.
And
We
ask
have
share his
shirt. Oh,
story
look
every
at that,
week.
guys. We have super cool shirts. Now order one size up if you do, but we have our store. I don't know where the hell I can find the link here. Do we have the link? Go to our website and you'll find it. There's our website, livewithjillandfrank.info. We have our shirts. We have, like, we're trying to get this thing going. You guys, we need your help. Yeah, the shirts are nice. I mean, I like mine.
Whatever, like
And
a shirt.
but you know, but also come back and share and comment and give us some traction. We're loving to come here and do this for you guys, and it was really fun to have Jill back with us this week and be able to have that little bit of action happening, uh, rather than have me talk alone forever. There's some of the shirts. There you go. See, now there's all kinds, especially for girls. There's different types and stuff. Like, guys, we're pretty simple. We go for t-shirts and hoodies, right?
And
I
there's
could be
more than
wrong.
this on the website.
See, I've probably done all kinds of gendering mistakes here. So I'm gonna, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, we
I.
have a shirt for you. You may have to deal that the company that makes the shirt may have them as girls and boys. I don't know. Uh, but hey, whatever. So, anyways, that's my little stupid
All
thing
right.
about the shirts. So please,
Well, I
guys,
have
come
a wrap
back.
up video for us,
There you go. Jill's got us
I believe.
covered.
Thanks, guys. We'll see
Love you
you
guys.
next Thursday, 23rd.
That's it. All right, you guys. Have a good
Good
week.
night.
Take care.